All right, we'll start again. And thanks for everyone. There are people from all over the state. I'm Cary Chevat with the Montclair Dems. And a lot of you worked with us in the last campaign, went on our buses, phone calls. So we've created, we all are part of this community, this progressive community, and we understand the stakes. So we want to spend the next few months giving you and your towns, on your block and your communities, the tools and the resources and the confidence to organize your friends and neighbors to get out to vote. We know the fight is coming to New Jersey. The governor's race is important. And then in 2026, we need to get the House back. So over the next few weeks, we are going to be offering these courses. And if you miss it, friends, we're going to put this on YouTube. And we have people from all over the state who are going to be talking about different issues and ways for you to really get the confidence to mobilize. Real quick, and then we'll get into this. Everyone see the screen? Yeah. So we're doing volunteer recruitment, myself and May Rose Wegman. Next week, we're going to have a thing on how you use Facebook, how to use it to engage your friends, how to create, whether you're NJ11th or change, or you just want to do something on block, how to use Facebook as an organizing tool. After that, we're going to do a how to combat disinformation. When that crazy uncle tells you something crazy, how do you do it in a positive way? And lastly, we're going to have some of the kids on our interns teach us boomers how to use social media. So anyway, there are more people coming in, and this is great. We're going to go through how today's lesson is how you can recruit your friends and neighbors, and why that's important. Forget about what they've been saying. This election was really close. Here in New Jersey, 500,000 Democrats stayed home. There weren't competitive congressional races. A lot of folks stayed home for their own personal reason. Yeah, but we are not a Magna nation anymore. This election was decided, the House was decided by 7,000 votes over 3 districts. The election was decided by 225,000 votes in 7 swing states, the same as it was in 2020 and 2016. Our job and your job is to get out the vote here in New Jersey. And if each of you could find 5 or 10 friends to come out, make sure they vote and get their friends to vote, we're going to win. It's really that simple. So tonight's lesson is about volunteer recruitment. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague and friend, May Rose Wegman. And May Rose, go ahead. When we start, well, let's get this show on the road.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the time this evening. I'm super excited about having more than 50 of us on this Zoom this evening. It was nice to meet many of you last week as we're doing this weekly. I'm going to share my screen and walk through a couple slides in a slide deck, and then we'll spend some time unpacking some of the slides, and we'll go into some breakout rooms. So I'm going to share my screen right now, if it allows me to do so.
You should be able to.
Yes. All right. Cary, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, there you go. Why don't you go full do slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Can you see it okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. As Cary said, my name is May Rose Wegman, and I've been an organizer within the Democratic Party for 25 years. I'm originally from Iowa, and I grew up with presidential politics. I moved to New Jersey in 2018 and started to get involved with the Montclair Dems recently. So, Cary, thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. I'm going to be presenting on why it's important for us to not third party our Democratic Party. How do we build pride and ownership in our Democratic Party once again? Because this is something that is critically important as we're going to be recruiting volunteers, neighbors to come out and join us in this next election cycle and the election cycle after that. So what is third partying the Democratic Party? How many times have you heard, what do the Democrats do for me? Or someone in the Democratic Party should. Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they should do this. Governor Murphy in the state legislature, they should do this. So it's a way of making it so that we as Democrats here on this Zoom tonight are not owning our Democratic Party. We are the party, right? We're the ones who are going to turn out the vote. So it's important for us to not look at it through the lens of being a third party, but rather it is our identity. And we have pride in being Democrats because it connects to our values. So Democrats judge the party based on what it does for individuals rather than the collective. And we want to get back to not judging it for that, but also speaking about the Democratic Party as not this outside entity that's in Washington, D.C., that's down in Trenton, but rather it's in our neighborhoods. So Cary has said this often for folks who know him. No one is coming to save us in the Democratic Party. There's no superhero in politics that's going to save us. We're going to have to do that ourselves. And that's why it's important for us to do this neighbor to neighbor program. If we don't, then the folks on this screen here get to continue to win, whether that is Elon Musk or RFK Jr. or some of these other folks that are really, really harmful to what we hold very dear in our own values. So we have to acknowledge that no one's coming to save us, and we have to do this work in our neighborhoods in order to win. So the other side's tactics, and we have been seeing this just in the last week and a half since Trump was inaugurated, they want to invoke fear and hopelessness and chaos, division and confusion. And I'm sure some of us on here tonight are going through some of those emotions right now of being fearful, of feeling hopeless, of being lost in the chaos, feeling divided, and feeling quite confused. And that is intentional on their part. And our job is going to be, how do we overcome these tactics that they're using? Because that's why they've been able to win. They've been able to be successful in putting forward that fearfulness and hopelessness and all in all, a lot of chaos. So in organizing, which we're all going to be doing here in our neighborhoods, we have to have hope. For those that followed Barack Obama's campaign, one of the reasons why that campaign was so successful is there was a lot of hope. And in the last campaign for Kamala Harris, we had a lot of hope, and it doesn't mean that hope is lost. It means that we've got to have hope as a discipline. So I love this quote of a community organizer at the bottom here. Hope is a discipline. That discipline is what sustains organizers who often grind away unseen for years. This is most of the time what unions and working people's organizations do. We make connections and we hope the sparks they light will catch and burn. And every conversation that you're going to have with your neighbors, hopefully that creates some kind of spark and it invokes some hope that we can make change together. So we have to be disciplined and remain hopeful. That's going to be our fuel as things are going to get very challenging in a Trump administration, but we're going to have that discipline for hope because that's what's going to fuel us in our neighbor to neighbor program as we're recruiting more folks to join us. So going back to third partying our Democratic Party, I just want to share that it is a trap. Don't fall into it. This is a relationship about power. The other side wins when we view our Democratic Party as something far away, as something that is a third party. It has to be us. We have to identify as Democrats and be proud to say that we're Democrats. That's part of our brand. But other Democrats have to see themselves as part of our party, and that's going to be part of us inviting more folks into the Democratic Party. How do we build a big tent? Our party is strong because the structures that we build out in our communities and in our neighborhoods, that's how we're going to turn out the vote. So it's important in our messaging for us to say, I am a Democrat. We are Democrats. I am proud to be a Democrat. And it's not the Democratic Party, it's our Democratic Party. We're the ones who get to decide. And that's really the beautiful thing about when we organize is we have a voice in what we want our Democratic Party to be. And we talked a little bit a few weeks ago for those that were at the summit, we talked about the importance of letting our elected leaders know how it is that we feel so that they can carry that voice through our representatives in their decision making. But we have to not third party our Democratic Party, but own it and be proud of it as we're talking with our neighbors and our friends to recruit them. So let's unpack what it means to be a Democrat. We're going to go into some breakout rooms and we're going to ask that you talk about some critical questions here. So the first question we'll ask you to talk about in the breakout rooms is, first, are you proud to be a Democrat? Why or why not? And it's okay if the answer right now is no, because we're going to walk through that. How do we get back to being proud of being Democrats so that we can recruit more folks to be part of our party? What issues, past or present, make you a Democrat? How does that align with the Democratic platform? Then we'll ask you, how does identifying as a Democrat make you feel? Similar to question 1. And then what themes or connections do you see in our Democratic Party as it relates to your values? Because when we're going out to talk with our neighbors and our friends to recruit them, we want to connect on values. That's going to be our message. So we're going to connect on what we hold dear, what issues we care about, whether it's LGBTQ rights, or if it's union rights, or if it's public education, or if it's access to healthcare. Right now, there's a lot going on with immigration. So let's talk about what connections and themes do we see in our values as it relates to the Democratic Party.